Hello, Alana here, and thank you for tuning into my channel. Welcome to this beginner's yin series video focused on our back and our side body. So these poses are pretty easy for the normal person. We won't be holding them super long, but it's a great practice to learn the poses, and if you want a quicker yin practice, this is always a good go-to. So today we will be focusing on a lot of back exercises. So if you do have a sensitive spine, only go to where your body tells you. Just really listen to what your body's telling you. You might not be able to get the whole way over, and that is totally okay. As you practice, you'll get probably more flexible, and maybe some of these poses will be a little easier, and also your body's going to be changing day to day. So we're going to start in a child's pose. Find a nice place in your home to start to practice. Maybe have some props handy and come to your mat with your toes touching, knees are coming wide, and we're pushing our hips back towards our heels, letting the hands walk down in front of us. If you're having a hard time getting the forehead to the mat, you can always grab a block, a blanket, or a pillow to just rest your head on to make it a little more easy. So just begin to sink in here, allowing any thoughts or emotions to just leave. This is a 30-minute practice just for you. This is your time. And just begin to notice the breath, maybe finding the nose and kind of feeling it go through your body. You noticing the belly rise and fall between the legs. I like to use mantras throughout my practice, but if you have your own intention that you like to use, feel free to bring that to your mind now. If not, today's mantra is simply going to be a breathing mantra where we inhale gratitude and we exhale stress. So anytime we remind ourselves of what we might be grateful for, kind of eliminates anything negative, stressful, anxious in our lives. So you can repeat that to yourself as you breathe in and exhaling stress. From this child's pose, we're just going to begin to walk the hands over towards the right side, maybe coming off of your mat, and just feel a nice stretch in that left shoulder and that side body. Really breathing and expanding the ribs here. And we'll begin to come back to center and then over towards the left side. Only going as far as what feels good here. All right, work your way back to center. And we're gonna rise up to a tabletop pose, stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And we're gonna work through a couple cat and cow movements. So on your inhale, your head's gonna go high, tailbone goes high, belly drops. And on your exhale, you're gonna round the spine, push the ground away for cat pose. And inhaling up, finding your own breath for this movement. Exhale, round. And one more, inhale, coming up. And exhale, round. We're gonna come back to neutral. And we're gonna take our gaze over towards the right toes. So we create a little C curve with our spine. Left hips are coming out. And inhale, come back to center, and we're gonna switch sides. So gaze goes towards the left toes. Right hips are coming out into that C curve. And come back to center. We're gonna curl the toes under and work into a downward facing dog. So bend the knees here, maybe shift the hips, walk it out a little bit. And we're gonna come into a standing forward fold. So if you have any conditions such as high blood pressure or anything where when the blood kind of comes rushing back to the head, you get super dizzy, you're gonna do this one on the ground, just letting the legs be in front of you and folding over the legs. If not, we're gonna start to look towards our hands. Exhale, walk slowly to the top of your mat. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, rise it the whole way up. Arms can come over the head. And we're gonna exhale, arms inside of body for Tadasana, mountain pose. So we're gonna take the feet about hips distance here. We wanna be really solid. Little bend in the knees. And we're just going to start to bend forward at the waist. And once we feel kind of our legs pulling and we find a pose we can hold for a while, we're gonna let the back and the head and the arms just hang over. So this is called dangling pose for a reason. And you can almost be, I kind of have my whole chest on my thighs, which is totally fine. Can maybe grab a block or a blanket to support the hands, or you can grab elbows. Just make sure the head is hanging here, nice and heavy, full extension of the spine. And be sure you're breathing. Head is below our heart here. Sending your breath into any areas of your spine that might feel tense or kind of fighting this stretch. See if you can imagine your breath really going in there and creating some space, opening it up, breathing into those sections of your spine. So we'll slowly begin to come out of this. You can ungrasp the elbows if you were there, but I like to just walk the hands with the legs, so I'm coming up nice and slow. And once you get to the top, you might kind of feel that head rush. Stay here for a few breaths, kind of regain your balance. And we're gonna come into the counter pose of goddess squats. So we're gonna take the feet wide, toes are kind of pointing out towards the corners of the mat. And we're gonna sink our tailbone down towards the ground. Knees should be facing wherever the toes are going. Back is nicely extended. You can put the elbows into the knees if you'd like. And it's fine if you're up on your ankles as well. Just a few breaths. And then you can drop your bum to the mat, and we're gonna set up for straddle pose next. So we're gonna come to our mats, and we're gonna let the legs come out into a straddle. So you can find what works for you. They don't have to be super wide, just wherever your body is comfortable. So you might wanna grab some blankets or blocks for this one as well. And we're gonna do a couple variations with this. So first, we're gonna turn our torso over towards the right leg, and we're gonna fold right over that leg. So leading with the chest first. Find your pose that feels good. You might feel this in your hamstrings, and then you can let the head and the neck kind of fold over. And just begin to breathe. You should be feeling this in that left bottom half of your spine. And just breathe here. Just a couple more breaths. Really expanding that side body as you breathe in. And we'll slowly begin to rise up, coming back to center. You might notice the difference between your sides here. And we're gonna turn the torso over towards the left leg this time. And same thing, folding it right over. Once you feel your edge, you can let the head and the back go. Just sinking into this left side. And begin to rise up, come back to center. And we're gonna fold forward now to even ourselves out. So I like to just walk the hands in front of me, lead with the chest first, and then once you feel kind of that pull, that's when you can let the head and the neck go. A lot of times I'll use a block here to place my forehead on. If not, you can just sink into it here. Using your breath, Some of these deeper hip openers combined with our back and our spine can kind of create some emotional things. So just return back to that breath. Don't put any judgment on the thoughts that might be coming through. Inhaling gratitude, exhaling the stress. And we'll begin to slowly rise up out of it. You can bring the knees together and just do some windshield wipers or any other movement that might feel really good to you. I also like to do reverse tabletop here. You just lift the hips, nice back extension. And release it back down. So from our seat, we're going to roll onto our backs. So bring the knees into the chest. Rock side to side here a few times, giving your low back a little bit of a massage. And we're going to take the knees and guide them in a circle. So nice big circles. And then go the other direction. All right, so we're gonna let the legs go long down the mat. And we're gonna bring the arms over our head and find a nice good morning stretch. So inhale, stretch the body. And exhale, release. Leave the arms and the legs where they are. And we're gonna come into what's called banana asana. So if you picture a banana, that's the shape we're gonna try to put our bodies into. So first, move your legs over to the right side, maybe coming off the mat a little bit. You can cross the ankles. And then you're going to move the arms over towards the right side. Breathing in here. Arms can be outstretched. You can grab elbows even, whatever feels good to you. If there's pinchiness in your shoulder, you can just let the arms come down. But you should feel a nice extension all through that left side body. Expanding as you breathe in. And letting go as you exhale. So this is a great stretch for our oblique muscles, which we don't really stretch all too much, and also the tendon that connects your iliotibial bands. So just kind of surrender here. It's a pretty easy pose. And begin to make your way back to center. And we'll switch sides. So coming over to the left side, legs come over to the left, arms come over to the left, crossing the ankles if that feels good to you, and feeling that nice stretch all through the side body. Inhaling gratitude, exhaling stress. Few more breaths, really breathing deep. And then begin to work your body back to center. Bring those knees into the chest. Give them a hug. Bring the nose up to meet the knees. And let the chest or the back come down to the mat. And let the knees just fall over towards the right side. Arms can be in a T or a goal pose. Can use some props maybe to help the legs meet the ground. And we'll just sink in here. This is a nice restorative pose for our spine. Gaze can be towards or away from the knees. And then bring the knees back to center and then drop the knees over towards the left side. Same thing, propping them up as needed. And just sinking in here. If your shoulders have a hard time getting to the mat as well, you can just lay the hands on your belly, maybe one on the heart, one on the belly, or just beside you. And bring the knees back into the chest. Give that one last hug in. Maybe curl up into a ball. Let the nose meet the knees. And then let your whole body go long down the mat, finding Shavasana. Letting your body just rest here. Letting our practice sink in. You can begin to deepen the breath, awaken the body, wiggle fingers and toes. And let the knees come over to the right side, finding a fetal position. Taking one last moment here to check in. Maybe inhaling gratitude one more time. And exhaling that stress. And begin to rise up to a nice comfortable seat. Bring the hands to heart center. Just acknowledge yourself. Find some gratitude for your practice. And I'm so grateful you tuned in. I hope you enjoyed this practice. Please leave me any feedback or comments about the video, and I hope that I get to teach you again. Feel free to check out the rest of my beginner series videos and full-length yin practices. Bring the hands up between the eyebrows. The divine light in me sees and honors the divine light in each of you. Let's bow forward together and say Namaste. Namaste. Thank you again. Have a great day.